Welcome to my first ever. Yes, you guys all know, if you've been following me in the past, all of my videos have been recorded vertically because I record short form videos, so like Reels, TikToks, and YouTube. I'm in traffic on my way to the casino in Vegas. Doesn't get any more degen than that. All jokes aside, thank you and welcome to my first vlog. I do live in Vegas. I live in Henderson, which is like 15-20 minutes from the Strip. So when you tell people you live in Vegas, they think you're living the Strip life, but you're not. Most locals want to just stay away from the Strip. I'm going to meet up with a friend of mine that I met playing live. He's like, hey, I'm in town. Let's go play. So I was like, sure, let's go play. And I'm headed to Resorts World because they let me record there specifically. Some of these casinos are content friendly, but some of them are not, including the MGM properties now. They shut down Brad Owen. They shut down anyone who's trying to vlog in their poker rooms because some shit went down with some slot streamers. Yeah, so welcome to my first vlog. Let's see if we can get some hands. I'm new to all this, so if you can hit that like button, it would help me grow the channel, even though I have 35,000 subscribers, but that's only because I post short form videos, but I really want to build a community, so here we are. Make our way to the poker room here at Resorts World, and we sit down at the new 2-5 table with $800. The max is $1,200, but that's all we had in cash, and playing with 160 bigs isn't terrible. So here we go. The first hand, we look down at 10-7 of diamonds from the +1 position. We open to $15, and to no surprise, we get 3 callers, and we go 4 ways to the flop. The flop's gonna be Jack, Ace, King with 2 diamonds. What a flop for us. We have a gut shot to the Broadway, but also our obvious flush draw. So when it checks to me, we c-bet to $21. We get the button and the small blind to call, and we go 3 ways to the turn. The turn's gonna be a queen of hearts, so we get our Broadway, and we're still free rolling to our diamond flush. So when it checks to me, I continue for value. I bet 55. The button's gonna call, and the small blind's gonna get out of the way, and we go heads up to the river. The river's another king. It's the king of hearts pairing the board, but I'm not concerned about any full houses here, as I think the button would raise all of his pairs like jacks, ace, pocket kings, pocket queens. I think he would also raise king jack, ace king pre-flop. So all those things considered, we go ahead and bet $100 for value. He then goes all in for all of his stack. He's got about 300 and something left. And I snap call, he shows his 10, I show mine, and we're gonna chop this one up. Anticlimactic for our first hand, I know, but I promise there are some crazy hands on the way. Stay tuned. Our next interesting hand, we look down at pocket jacks from the button. The under the gun +1 made it $15. We're gonna go ahead and 3-bet to $40. It folds to him, he calls, and we're gonna go heads up to the flop. The flop's gonna be 7-8-4 rainbow. All things considered, this is a really good board for us. He checks it over to us, and we're going to c-bet to only $40 here. He thinks about it and surprisingly raises to $200. This is a massive raise. I don't think any set or made straight would play it this way. He's also only going to have less than a pot size bet left if I do only call. So considering we have this monster overpair on this board, we go all in. And he does not snap call. So again, I think he would snap call with all his sets and made straights. He probably has like top pair or something like that on this board. He ends up thinking and then calls for his extra 200 and change left. We go to the run out. The run out's a king of spades and then pairs a board with another 7. That was scary to see. I show my jacks and he says we're good. He folds and we're going to take this big pot down for our second hand. Not sure what he called with. He probably had ace-8 or maybe had like a pair of 8s with a straight draw like 8-6. Nonetheless, finally jacks hold and we scoop up this nice pot. Our next big interesting hand, we look down at pocket queens. The under the gun player open raised to 10x. That's right, he made it $50. This is a new player and this is an unusual open size at this table. I asked the dealer how much and I was like, damn. Okay, he's got about $180 left behind, so I did want to induce an all-in situation. So I make it $170 as a 3-bet. Folds over to him, of course, and he's going to go ahead and just call, which was very interesting. My buddy to my left then said, well, at least you know he doesn't have aces. That was hilarious, so that's true. We go to the flop heads up, and the flop's going to be 6 Jack 5 rainbow. All things considered, good flop for us. So of course, when he checks to us, we put him all in. He snap calls, and when I saw the jack on the turn, I was concerned. And then the river's the 7 of hearts. I show my pocket queens. He shows ace king offsuits, and we take this pot down. If he was going to play that hand that way, I was assuming he was going to go all in pre-flop, but he decided to just commit himself. And very interesting play from that player, but again, this is just a representation of action at Resorts World. We take down a good big pot, and we go to our next hand. Next hand, we pick up ace jack offsuit on the button. The hijack player makes it $20 as an open. He's only got about $120 behind. So this is why I elect to 3-bet to $70. I want to isolate, and I'm happy to get this all in considering how deep I am and how short he is. Or if he wants to fold, that's fine too. I'll take those $20. But he elects to go all in as expected. I end up calling it off, and we go to a run out of 10 ace, king, 5, and a queen at the end to give us our Broadway. I thought I only had the ace, and I realized I had the straight. He showed ace king, so unfortunately for him, I sucked out on that river. And we stack him. He ends up leaving. He only bought in for the minimum. And yeah, a little bonus pot here. And I can't really deny that we're running hot. So on to our next interesting, crazy hands. Next, very interesting hand. We have the ace 4 of clubs in the big blind. The cutoff makes it $15. Sure, there's merit to 3-betting, but I decided to just defend, and I put in the $10. And we go heads up to the flop. The flop's gonna be jack 4 ace rainbow. We flop 2 pair here. We go ahead and check it over to him. He checks it back, and we go to the turn. The turn's a 5 of clubs, improving us to a nut flush draw here. So we want to build this pot now with our 2 pair and nut flush. We make it $20, and he thinks about it for a couple seconds and ends up putting the call. The river is a bink 7 of clubs. We're running so pure, as if 2 pair wasn't good enough. We now have the nut flush. So I'm trying to decide what I can get called by if I do bet for value here. How much should I bet? But nonetheless, I make it $95. Sizable bet here. I'm not sure if it's too polarized, but it's not too thin. I can probably get called by an ace here, considering he did call the turn. So he's tanking for a very, very long time, which makes me curious. Maybe he's trying to bluff catch me with some sort of jack 10 hand. He ends up just putting the call. We show our nut flush, and he flashes the king high flush, which I did not expect. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very interesting to me. We were all saying how all of our money should have gone in, but I don't know. I don't know what kind of tell I gave, what read he had on me, but they told him with the way this guy's getting cards, that's a good call. Guys, I've never been in this position before. When he showed that, the money should have gone in, but hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments with this hand. We could have probably bet bigger. But yeah, on to the next hand. This session has just been crazy. Our next hand, we have ace 5 of diamonds in the big blind. Our buddy to our left open to $20. Folds around to the small blind who calls. And of course, there's merit to 3-betting here almost always, but I decided to go the passive route and just call. So we're going to go 3 ways to the flop. The flop's going to be favorable. It's 4, 7, 5 with 2 diamonds. We flop a pair and a nut flush draw. It's going to check around really quickly here, and the turn is a bink king of diamonds. Wow, we are running pure, and we're going to go check, play it tricky here, and our buddy to our left now bets $35. The small blind's going to get out of the way, and of course, we want to build this pot now. Probably get called by a king X hand like king jack, king 10. So we want to get value from those hands, so we decide to make it $85. And it doesn't take him too long to call. So he calls and we go to the river. And the river's going to be a 4 of hearts. It does pair the board. I'm not really scared of hands like pocket kings because he did check the flop. I don't think he would check sets of 7s. But just in case he's playing tricky as well, I only bet $100 here for thin value. Again, we want to target hands like king 10, king jack that might have gotten there on the turn. And then instead of calling or folding, he decides to raise, which put me in a very interesting spot. I was definitely in a blender here because, again, I was trying to think of all the combinations he can have considering his open, considering his check on the flop. I'm not going to fold this. Folding is out of the question, but just in case he was also trapping, I decided to just call, and he said, good call, you're definitely good, because I said I have the nut flush. And I showed him, and he's like, yeah, I was just trying to make a move. So yeah, guys, I'm just running pure here, and you know, I have my buddy trying to bluff me when I have it, and I'm just like sucking out on players. So get ready for the grand finale of hands that's about to get me super in the green. If you weren't already entertained, buckle up, because this next hand is wild. We look down at pocket sevens on the button. The hijack makes it $20. We could squeeze here, but we decide to just call so we could set mine multi-way. And we go to the flop, which is 8-5-7, 2 hearts. We bink our set. And now the big blind decides to lead for $60. The pre-flop aggressor decides he's going to call. And we're, of course, going to build this pot now. We want to target all those straight draws, all those heart draws, and overpairs. So we make it 165. The big blind decides he's going to think about it, smile a bit, chew on his good food, and lets it go reluctantly. And now the pre-flop aggressor decides to call, and we go heads up to the turn. The turn's a 4 of clubs, so now any 6 makes a straight. I'm not sure, though, how many combos of 6x the pre-flop aggressor has in his range. And interestingly enough, he decides to lead into me for $200. I'm not going to raise here. I'm going to just play it safe and just call. And we go to the river, which is a bink magical 7 of clubs. We have our quad 7s. And even better, he decides to keep firing for $250. I'm going to go ahead and Hollywood here, take my time, pretend like I have a decision to make. Even the dealer was annoyed of it. And I finally got the cue and decided to put him all in for about $400 more. And it doesn't take him too long to fold. And people thought I had pocket 8s. We show the board, and we are also going to show the quad 7s, just because you always want to show quads to a nice interactive table. We chip up, and wow. On to the last 2 hands. Guys, I cannot make this up. Literally the next hand, as I'm putting my chips together, I get dealt ace king of diamonds. There's an early position open, and then the player to my right that I just was in a hand with calls. I end up making it 110 as a 3-bet. The original raiser gets out of the way, folds to the guy to my right that we just played against, and he decides, fuck it, I'm going all in. He goes all in for 300, and I go ahead and snap call. I tell him I have ace king, that he's probably good, and he does not turn over his cards. He folds, and ace king is good. We take this extra bonus. We stack the player. The guy is on tilt for sure. I really wonder what he had in that previous hand, but I mean, he didn't jam all into the first open, so him jamming all into me just confirms that he's on tilt and just hates my guts right now. And we go to our very next hand. Again, I cannot make this up. I get dealt 10-9 suited. There's an open to $10. I go ahead and 3-bet to $60. We get 3 players to call, and we go 4 ways to the flop. The flop is very favorable. We have a gut shot as well as a flush draw. It comes 6, 7, jack, 2 spades. I go ahead and c-bet to $100. Middle position player decides he has other plans and makes it $350. That's right, he's raising me. Of course, we're not going anywhere. We're running really hot. We're deep. We call for 250 more, and we go to a bink king of spades for the flush, and he does not hesitate to go all in. I snap call. I tell him I have a flush. We go to the river, which is an inconsequential 5 of clubs. I don't make him show just because I had already told him I had the flush. He mucks his hand. We scoop up this insane, massive pot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the hottest and the purest I've ever ran. We bought in for $800, and now we're cashing out for $5,600 almost. What a run, ladies and gentlemen. You can see how insane this stack has become after buying in for only $800. Guys, this was the most ridiculous session I've ever had. I was on a complete heater. Bought in $800 at the 2.5, cashed out 5,500 and something, 5.6K basically. This isn't your typical day. This does not happen. Like, I admit I was on a heater. The buddy of mine I met with just saw I was running pure. He took some pictures for me for the gram. I hope you guys see it on the gram. Let me know if you guys enjoy this. Let's make a vlog. Let's make a community. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy that vlog.